敵なんかいない。
In this video, I'm going to share my thoughts on what makes Thorfinn Vinland's savior. I'm going to address his past experiences as a child and the loss of his father, and then I'm going to also discuss how he was able to overcome his anger and resentment by becoming a slave and having his friend Einar show him that there's more to life than fighting. And it really comes down to the fact that Askeladd had passed away in season 1, and just as a reference, there is going to be spoilers to this series, this video, because I have to cover a lot of things in order to make things make sense. So, in order for Thorfinn to become the man that he needed to become, just as myself, and there's going to be a lot of personal experiences throughout this video as well, he had to go through some very traumatic experiences as a child. As a child, he wanted to fight, he wanted to be like his dad, he wanted to be like Thor's, because he wanted to be somebody that his family could depend on, just as myself. Throughout the journey, he got his father killed in a battle because he was taken as hostage in the beginning of the series. This eventually led to him having a lot of rage and anger and resentment towards Askeladd because he killed his one and only saving grace. And as a child, we don't think of these things as being catastrophic. We just look at them and be like, oh, it's just a part of life. I'm going to be upset. I'm going to use this anger. I'm going to use this rage to be able to become a man. I'm going to use it to become the person that I need to be. I've done that. I've realized that that was part of me. I used my rage. I used my anger towards people, towards the environment that I grew up in, and towards me just not, I guess, understanding myself in the ways that I could. And Thorfinn was the exact same way. He wasn't a man yet. He was still a boy, yet he had to grow up at a very young age to be able to make sure that he could protect himself and make revenge on the one person that he wanted to have revenge on. Through the process of season 1, you start to see him getting a lot closer with Askeladd. You see him starting to become more acquainted with him and looking at him more as a father figure. And yet he's still doing his bidding. He still wants to take him out. He still has these feelings of anger and resentment. Yet near the end of the series, when he does die after decapitating the king, is you see him with all this grief, you see him with all this sadness, you see him with all this frustration, because what he was truly chasing was not what he was meant to chase. He was chasing and living off of anger and resentment and the fear of losing his father, when in reality he was just trying to find purpose. He was trying to find a drive, a reason to live, a reason to continue on with life, as I believe many of us do. I ran into the same situation when I was promoted at the company and I started making a decent amount of money. It was like, okay, this is cool, this is great. It was just like, what's next? What do I do after this point? Like, all that anger, all the hard work that I put in amounted to nothing. And I was like, okay, well, this isn't right. And I've had to start doing some more soul searching and some more like just overall introspection of myself to be able to be like, okay, is this really what I want to be doing? I look like Thorfinn at the beginning of season 2, just long hair, no emotion, no drive, no purpose, because I felt the exact same way. I didn't feel like I could be a man that was worthy of great things without my anger, without my resentment, without my rage. I thought I needed those things to be able to become more powerful, to be able to provide value back. I thought I needed to have enemies, people that I despised, people that I wanted to prove wrong. And I've started to realize I don't. Just as Thorfinn did as well. I don't need somebody to make me feel a certain way. I don't need to have this drive to be able to be like, yeah, I prove you wrong. All it is I'm just doing what I feel is right in the depths of my soul. And if that's different, or I guess counterintuitive to how people may want me to live my life, I can't have any say on what they believe. Just as Thorfinn, he has a purpose, he has a mission, he wants to show that there are no enemies in this world. He wants to give people the opportunity to see like, hey, you know what? It's not all about fighting. We can stand tall, we can go through the battles, we can give ourselves to the devil, we can give ourselves to the evil that lurks within us, and realize that there is no joy, there is no fulfillment out of that. Real joy, real fulfillment comes from saving others and helping them come to the realization that we don't have to be these people that are just chasing after the next thing, after the next thing, after the next thing, after the next thing. Instead, we can be somebody that brings people together. We can bring people together in ways that nobody has ever really been brought together before. Thorfinn, as a child, he didn't know that. I didn't know that as a child. I didn't know that as just a young adult. I'm starting to realize now that it's not necessarily the bad things that we've done in the past that define us, because we're still going to have to carry those souls with us. Thorfinn, he has to carry all the people that he's wounded. He has to carry all the people that he's killed, all the families that he's ruined. He has that burden that he's bearing, and he's having to carry that weight, and it's a heavy weight that he has to carry. It's the weight that he has to, because he didn't know any better as a child, and now he's accepted the fact that he has these people, he has these things that will always be with him, yet those don't define him as the person that he is. He's the person that he decides to be every single day, and the person that he decides to be, just as myself, is somebody that is going to be an inspiration, somebody that's going to show what is possible. Because yes, we have had bad things happen to us. Yes, we have had people tell us that we aren't worthy, that we aren't respectable, that we don't have what it takes to be this type of person. Yet through our struggles, through our tribulations, through the things that we have gone through, we're able to see that, hey, anything's possible. We can achieve more than we thought we set out to achieve. We can be the savior of our hometown, of our family, of the people around us. It's going to require us stepping away for a short period of time to be able to give them the life that we know is possible, to be able to show them, not even show them, but just have the opportunity to present new challenges, present new opportunities, present new ways of viewing the world, because we've seen the darkest of the dark. We've seen the worst of humanity, and we don't want those close to us to feel the same way.